We begin world now in Israel, where British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is billed to hold meetings with Israeli officials. This comes after Mr. Sunak landed in Tel Aviv. Reports from Palestine reveal dozens were killed as Israeli air raids continue to target Gaza. This comes as residents mourn the deadly strike at Al-Ahli Arab Hospital. We have more details in this report.
Israel has said it won't stop humanitarian aid crossing into Gaza from Egypt. This decision follows a blast at the Al-Ahli Hospital. Though the exact number of people killed is still unclear, the facility had been crowded with civilians fleeing Israeli airstrikes when it happened. Israeli and Palestinian sides have both blamed each other for the attack, which is thought to have killed up to 300 people. President Biden says it appeared the explosion had been caused by the other team rather than
Gaza,
Israel.
They believe it was an errant rocket.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer spoke to the media following a Senate briefing on the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
The intelligence community assesses that Israel is not to blame for the explosion of the hospital in Gaza. They believe it was an errant rocket from terrorists in Gaza. Okay? Second, I asked Secretary Austin when he needs funding for our ongoing efforts. His answer was crystal clear yesterday. The Senate will not wait. We must act quickly. We hope nobody tries to slow this desperately needed aid down.
Meanwhile, reactions are still trailing the explosion at the hospital in Gaza. The Chicago Coalition for Justice in Palestine held a protest outside the federal building in Chicago following the deadly explosion. Similarly, pro-Palestine protesters called for peace outside of the Israel embassy in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday night. The Palestinian community in Naples also remembered the victims of the Gaza hospital with 10 minutes of silence and prayers, with persons barely holding back tears. On the other hand, pro-Israel protesters gathered in Athens. With the Israel-Palestine war still in full force, the United Nations say an unprecedented catastrophe has been reported to be unfolding for civilians in Gaza, and it is pleading for leaders to allow humanitarian efforts into the territory to help those trapped there. The United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees in the Near East have called on the Council of Foreign Ministers of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation to firmly and unconditionally support the humanitarian efforts to safeguard civilians in Gaza.